Hello friends, welcome to Patuta's Educational Services on our Teach to Inspire series. Today we are going to be looking at a very important topic as far as teaching and learning is concerned. That is classroom management and control. Yes, classroom management and control is one of the vital components of teaching and learning process in our schools today. For without it, of course, no meaningful learning can take place. But in order for us to understand it very well, let me start taking it one by one. I'll explain what classroom is, management, and control. Classroom, yes, this is a conducive atmosphere provided in which appropriate learning takes place effectively. It must be spacious, it must have space with seats in them. It must have a board, well ventilated. So this is the classroom. Also, we'll talk about management. Management is simply means the utilization, the use of all necessary resources, both human and non-human materials. The use of all necessary resources, both human and non-human materials during lesson. The resources are things we have in our classroom, like our chairs, the wall clock, our desk, the board, which comes in different color these days: white, green, black. Okay, now control is the corrective behavior of the students and adaptation of the maintenance of law and order. This is when you tell students what you want them to do and what you want them not to do. So hence, or if I may add them together now, classroom management and control means what I just said, means the utilization of all the necessary resources, both human and non-human materials, in a conducive atmosphere where teaching and learning takes place effectively, making sure laws and order are maintained. That is classroom management and control. Now let us look at the reason why we need classroom management and control. As a teacher, why do you even need classroom management and control? One, for the maintenance of peace and order in your classroom. You need peace and order in your classroom for you to be able to teach effectively. Of course, there's no doubt about that. The next one is to induce the learner to be interested in your lesson, to be active during lesson, and be attentive during lesson. You know, if that's the reason, one of the reasons. To be interested in your lesson, to be active during lesson, and to be attentive during lesson. Another one is to create an atmosphere for learner to feel free during your lesson. You want them to be relaxed, to feel free during your lesson. Okay? Another one is to help in creating favorable attitudes in your students. You know, when you start giving them this, your law and order, you see them, they are well behaved. Before you know, they grow up with such an attitude. Of course, I believe you want that as a teacher. The next one is to help the student to have respect for the school authority. Yes, to have for the student to have respect for the school authority. Yes, because you are training them in your classroom to be well behaved. Now they take it outside your classroom. The school authority will say, okay, do this, and they'll tend to do that. They'll tend to be obedient to the school authorities. And the last one will be for you, of course, to teach. For teaching and learning to take place effectively. I think that's the reason, one of the reasons why you need to understand classroom management and control. Now let us go to ways of achieving good classroom management and control. What are the ways of achieving classroom management and control? I'll give you some of the reasons of achieving classroom management and control. One of them is the utilization of various teaching methods. As a teacher, try as much as possible to use various teaching methods. Don't stick to one particular teaching method all the time. You know, if you are doing that, your class become, boring to the students. And one of the ways for students to express their boredom in your lesson is for them to become unruly or to be disturbing your class. So by so doing, you will not be able to manage and control your classroom. The next one is having good knowledge of your subject area. Of course, always come prepared. You should have good knowledge of your subject area. Okay, know what you're teaching. preparation is very, very important before coming to your classroom. When you start teaching and you start making one or two mistakes, you see your class, you will lose control of your classroom. The third one is consistency of work and attitude. Consistency of work and attitude. You should be consistent in your work. There are some teachers, they are, when they come in, their tempo is always high, and they will retain it continuously like that. While some, they are coming in, their tempo is, before you know, it will be going down. They're very active, before you know, started going down. They come to class, they are sluggish, they come, they just talk stories and they leave. By so doing, you will lose control of your class. You'll not be able to manage your students. Another one is teaching appropriately. Always teach appropriately. Write very well. Then your words, clarity of your words. Use normal words. Don't use ambiguous words so that you don't get the student confused. Start doing that, you will lose control of your classroom. You'll not be able to manage your students. And also, it's very, very important that you don't use continuous words all the time. You find some teachers using one particular type of example, or use one particular type of word when they are teaching. So therefore, as you are teaching, you're making that sound. When you put this, so therefore, it will be like, when you do this, so therefore, it will get it. When you do this, so therefore, students will nickname you with so therefore. And when you're teaching in your classroom, if you just mention so therefore, it will just disorganize your classroom. Okay. Another one is proper handling of classroom activities. Yes, you should be able to manage your classroom activities. So if you are doing this, you are able to manage your classroom activity. What you're supposed to do, you do it right. Manage it very well. For you are in control of your classroom. You're in charge of your classroom. Another one is having authority over your students. Yes, having authority over your student, but be democratic about it. Don't be too bossy on your students. You're the boss. It's not too good. Have authority over them. Train them on that, and when you tell them, they obey you. And always listen to them. Always share. What do you think we can do if something happen? Give them laws. Give rules in your classroom. And they say, this, if you disobey this, what do we do? Share with them. Be democratic about it. You see, they will love you for that. So, there's something I really want to mention also. You understand that classroom management and control is very, very vital as far as teaching and learning is concerned. And what I have to mention here is that there's difference between an active class and a disturbant class. Yes, a disturbing class is when you are not in control. They are just everywhere is noisy. But the class can be active. Students are talking, but it's active. You're in control. Maybe they are working on something. They are doing something and you are in charge of it. Yes, that one is an active class. So at times some teacher will say, okay, everybody, they are just quiet, nobody's doing anything. The class is not active because you want to control and manage your class. No, we are against that. I'm speaking against that. Your class can be active. I am a mathematics teacher, and during my lesson, it's very, very active, and everybody is saying what they're supposed to say. They are saying it at the right time. So that is it. So remember, classroom management and control is very, very important as far as teaching and learning is concerned. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.